Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's Reddit Quickie video, taken from the HFY subreddit called SoldOut, written by JeremiahHellRider. The link to the original will be down below, and as always, I hope that you enjoy. Sold! You may receive ownership papers of the main hall, sir. The shouting of the clerk hurt my poor ears. I told him to be a little more quiet while announcing he knew my species were sensitive to loud sounds. There was already a monitor to show what was sold. I've been in the Empire auctioning business for 690 years now. It all started in my backyard selling bits and pieces of my dead mother's house. Now I own the biggest auctioning house in the galaxy. I have many large rooms decorated with art and riches from across all of the galaxy. More money than someone can imagine flows through here every day. Our main hall has expensive tables and chairs for customers, and a small bar to help potential buyers get a little more courageous. And now we have an neurotoxin supply owned by the Gallagher Collective. The opening price is 340 bonkors. In this galaxy where the balance of power was the key to order, no empire could let one another gain the upper hand. That's where I came in. Whenever a natural disasters, war, internal conflict, etc. destroyed an empire, I would swoop in with lawyers, banks, and long-lost heirs to the throne and claim all the assets that remained. All of that would be later sold back to the other empires. 890 bunkers from Cahagnus. No one else wants all this great announcing. It's super effective in all the combat situations and for the extermination of unnecessary life. This ensures that no one ever takes too much power. The empires are fine with this. I'm turning a profit. Everyone is happy. Now we have one final planet, as its inhabitants call it, Earth. Its lands are filled with thick jungles, thousands of different species of plants and animals, wild lands filled with opportunity and adventure. The planet even holds sentient life who have adapted to the dangerous environment. You can visit their fine and comfortable cities and even bring your family with you too. This exotic beast was captured by the Gallagher Collective only a decade ago, so it still holds onto its uncivilized wild nature. Our starting price is 20,000 bankors. Ignoring the pain in my ears from all the shouting, I slowly leaned towards the table to me, and I listened to what two rich traders were talking about the planet. I know it's not every day you come across a planet with such a big opportunity for tourist investment, but you heard the rumors. Rumors. These people were scared of such small things. Small uprisings and revolts were common on that planet. No one could forget the Haitian incident. But a good number of the guards and some social engineering could solve all of the problems there. I needed to sell this planet fast before it could be devalued more. I can't believe not even one of them wants to the planet. Nobody? Come on, fellas. It would be a shame to let such a prize like Earth be lost. Surprisingly, I heard Mr. Cahagnus speak up again. 25,000 bankors. Well, at least someone wanted Earth. I would have my money, after all. A brief moment of silence later, and I heard a stranger shout from the back of the room. 27,000. On the back corner of the room, there were two people sitting next to the table. One of them was Mr. Cahagnus, and he was a well-known weapons manufacturer. But no one could see who the alien that wanted to buy Earth was. The entire body was covered in a thick clothes, and the corner was sitting and made dark to see his face, making it impossible to understand who he was. No other gentleman wants this great planet. I heard a thunder from the outside the building, and it started to rain. Mr. Cahagnus stood up and raised his hand. 30,000. The person sitting next to him quickly responded, 35,000. I couldn't tell it was just a rivalry between two aristocrats, or if Earth had something that I didn't know about. But Mr. Cahagnus once again stood up and spoke. 50,000. There was a stutter in his voice. I knew that he was rich, but I wasn't sure that he could give a lot more than that. But it works out for me, though. The strange person waited for a moment, and then he pulled out a weird communication device and started to talk to someone. I looked at Mr. Cahagnus, who was looking more and more stressed. No other offers. Well, then, good people, Earth is going to go to Mr. Jacob for 50,000 bankors. 1, 2, 3. Before the clerk had finished, the alien stood up and spoke. 70,000 bankors. The strange man had made one last offer. As soon as he sat down, Mr. Kahagner stood up and ran towards me. His charisma wasn't cool, and we're all lost. He looked frantic, almost ready to cry. He kneeled in front of me. Sir, I know it's money that speaks, but you can't not sell Earth to that creature. Even if you don't sell it to me, keep it for yourself. If you give that planet to him, doom will find us all. For the love of all that's good and righteous, please listen to me. Don't give that planet to him. I also didn't want to give away the planet to someone that I didn't know. But 70,000 bank calls was a lot. I'm sure that my money could help me fend off whatever problems Earth could cause. Well, Mr. Kahagner, I'm sorry, but our rule is that the highest bidder gets the planet. Please head back to your seat. Mr. Kahagner stood devastated. He stood up and slowly walked towards the exit. The entire room was silent. The only noise I could hear was Mr. Kahagner's slow footsteps. Once he reached the door of the room, he stopped and looked back at us. I would advise all of you get ready for some bad days ahead. Good evening. With that, he left. We quickly turned our eyes towards the mysterious person. He finally stepped out of the dark corner. His face was weird and fleshy, and he walked towards the exit just like Mr. Kahagner. I remembered what species he was. He was one of the humans, the species that lived on Earth. They had caused all the revolts on Earth and made the planet infamous. They had even played a hand in the destruction of the Gilligan Masters by acting as ferocious mercenaries for the collective's enemies. They had no respect for the rules that had kept the balance in the universe for so long, and I had just granted them independence. The human finally reached the exit doors and gave us a quick glance and walked out without a word. And that, my friends, is the end of this Reddit Quickie. I hope that you enjoyed. If you'd like to support this channel, there are numerous ways to do so, listed in the description down below. The easiest and best way would be to share this video and my channel as much as possible. I'll see you all in the next video, and I hope that you have a good one until then. Cheers. P.S. With all the changes in YouTube recently, it has become more a case of when my account will get banned rather than if my account will be banned, the same as everyone else. If you look down below, there is a link to my SoundCloud account where everything gets backed up. I recommend that you follow that account just in case something happens to this account. Other than that, everything will still continue as normal. Thanks. Cheers.